Today, I would like to do this piece on a guy named Michael Concepcion. I came across this guy by my oldest brother, which is passed away now. His name is Keith Fisher. And this is a tribute to my brother at the Name of the Game on the Western and 100 and some across the street from the golf course. My brother used to always tell me about the male exotic experience, how he kind of like started it from the Hobart Club, then he went from the Hobart Club to the Players Club. He used to hang up at the steakhouse, and they had a bunch of clubs. He had one was Rolls Royce clubs right there on Slauson and Van Ness. And my brother used to have guys come from Frisco, but a lot of people don't know that the male exotic experience in LA was real big. My brother Keith Fisher kind of like was one of the pioneers. And I wanted to talk about Troubleshooter and his brother named Sex Shooter. And I wanted to talk about this guy named Michael Concepcion, because this club never have got its due respect. They have never got the highlighting or the light of what they should have been. I wish they would have videoed a lot of these things, because I noticed my brothers, Lamont, all those guys, the limousine service, Hercules, Samson, all these guys was around my brother. And my brother used to always tell me about this guy named Michael Concepcion. So what we used to do is, me and Buller and a lot of us, we used to go up to the Name of the Game at 1:30, because the club let out at 2 o'clock. And we used to go up there at night, and we wasn't up there looking at the male exotic. They would draw women. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of women, and we would go up there right after the club get ready to close, and we would wait in the parking lot. And sometimes it'd be fighting, sometimes it'd be the police, sometimes it'd be gambling. But this club was on right across the street from the golf course. This club is known as called the Name of the Game. And whatever game you had and whatever the name you had, you were there. But this guy, Michael Concepcion, one night my brother told me that come up to the club, and he's gonna introduce me to some of his friends. And when I got up there, Rerun was up there. They used to play on TV, Rerun. Some of the guys, a lot of the old singers. One of my friends that my mom kind of like knew, named Lee Mack. They called him Mac. I mean, man, it was so many guys used to be. I seen Del Dog up there before. I seen some main streets. I seen every little bit of everything. But to talk about Michael Concepcion used to pull up in his car. This when he had the Mercedes. Everybody was driving 450, 500 Mercedes. And I didn't know that Michael Concepcion had got shot and was paralyzed. But Michael Concepcion used to pull up to the club right in front of the door and just open up, and his car was already convertible. He made it convertible so he wouldn't have to get out. And he used to just watch the ladies come out and pop at the ladies real slick. And some of them get in the car with him, some of them get off random. And he always was macking on the women and stuff like that. And my brother even told me that one time the security guard was talking crazy to one of his friends, and Mike jumped out the wheelchair and beat him up real bad. But my brother was always cool with a lot of these guys at the Name of the Game. And he used to always tell me about Michael Concepcion, that Michael Concepcion knew him real good, and Michael Concepcion was his friend. But later on, I couldn't find out that Michael Concepcion was a Crip. I wasn't really familiar what area, but I know that he was from one of the West Side Crips or the East Side. And Mike had several cars. Mike was in the game back then, but he was a major guy at this club. He used to always come to this club. And I end up noticing Mike later on, as he used to be with Dr. Dre and them. He had the All in the Same Gang song. I seen him do a lot of things in Watts. And this guy, for him to be into the wheelchair and for him to be a guy that had got paralyzed, he had a big influence. He had a deep voice, and I used to hear him on some of the songs. And I know that he had a record label, and he had a couple guys on his label. I think he had Tank, I think his name was I Belong to You, Romeo. He just got into the business, man. I think he was signed with Capitol Records. But this guy, man, for him to be a Crip and for him to be doing what he doing from what the position he was doing it in was real respectful, and everybody respected him. And I always seen him, in a Hustlers game, whatever game it was, he was with it, shooting whatever. And just to talk about this guy that my brother knew, I didn't know my brother had ran across so many guys that had been into, drug business, pimping, racketeering, everything, man, you can name of it. It was at this club, name of the game. And we used to go in there at night, like 1:30, and go way in the back and take pictures. And a lot of the women knew who we were because they had Benzes, and they had a lot of Mercedes, Rolls Royces and everything. And my brother had a friend that was from Compton, JR, and his brother Stutter Man. I ended up meeting Stutter Man. It was one of my brother friends. I ended up meeting Stutter Man when he lived on Broadway. And my brother was telling me about this guy, Stutter Man, and how he had got out of jail. And Stutter Man just got a vet and everything. And he had we went over his house one day, and the police had just ran his house. But I don't know if Stutter Man remember me. I'm Keith Fisher's brother. And I just wanted to shed light on the name of the game, the club. My brother's name was Troubleshooter. He always introduced me to guys that was used to come to the club. I mean, I met JC up there. I met Michael Concepcion. I met Rerun. I met JR. I met majority of all of the MCs, the male exotic guys. Because my brother used to always throw tournaments, and he used to throw them all over the city. He used to throw them downtown, and he used to throw them at this club called the Rolls Royce Club. That's right on Van Ness and Slauson, upstairs, right by the park. And I used to do security for my brother. And one night I was up there doing security, and Big Country and all of the Peblos and villains came, and I knew majority of them. They were like, "What's up, Fish?" And I was like, "What's up?" And I seen all of the guys, man. I mean, all the guys from the projects. And a lot of them dudes was getting money. And I ended up seeing, I was doing the security at the door, but they already knew I was from the East Side, and they was from East Side, but they was Bloods, and they always knew me from being familiar with the Crip, affiliated with the Crips and the 68th Street Boys. And man, we had a good time. I seen all of the beautiful girls from the villains and from the Peblos. And man, I think my brother and them used to have a club like twice a week or once on the weekend, twice on the weekend. And I mean, man, it used to be women coming from all over South Central, because I heard my brother's funeral was real big. Women came all the way from out of town. But Troubleshooter, I think I would love to do a documentary on you. I see Snoop Dogg wife is getting into the male exotic dance business, but my brother was one of the pioneers into the business. And one thing about being into club business, you're gonna always have to have security, and you're gonna always have to have security big enough and the security bad enough to deal with the Crips and the Bloods. And this guy, Michael Concepcion, if you didn't know him, if you didn't know who he was, and if you didn't know, how he operate, sometimes you would make a mistake and say something or act a certain way around this guy. But my brother let me know who this guy was early in the game. He also let me know Gangsta John from 8-9. My brother would always tell me about which Crips he got into it with, and which Crips used to come up to the club, and which Crips that was real big time, and which Crips was getting money and different things. But my brother, he was always into, MCing. He was one of the top MCs in the male exotic, and he always was telling me about Michael Concepcion. And I just wanted to talk about this guy because I see him in the Gang Truce. I see him into the Dr. Dre stuff. I see him, he's at his own regulator. This guy came all the way from wherever he came from. He was a Crip, and I seen his progress. And I just wanted to give some of these guys in LA they prompts, because my brother's not here right now. And my brother used to always tell me about this guy, Michael Concepcion. And I just wanted to talk about, his relationship with Mike, and how Mike knew all the guys. Everybody knew everybody over there. It was a whole different relationship. And then I think one of the guys from Compton ended up buying the club. But this was a whole family, man. Everybody was family. We was all friends. We was all cool with each other. Even when people come from out of town, women come from Frisco to Bay Area, all over the city, Harbor City, Dodge, everywhere, Long Beach. And my brother knew all of the main guys at this club, name of the game. Keith Fisher, Michael Concepcion.